Just wondering, when you look at the road trip that you had, the success that you had, but coming back home where you know you guys have kind of struggled to pick up points consistently, what do you take from a long road trip that hope gets translated tomorrow against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is until we play the games, you don't know. But we definitely like to have our home record much better than what it has been. So we've been really solid on the road. Had a great trip. It would have been great to finish that last one off there. But anything can happen in overtime, and they beat us in overtime. But overall, if we can just kind of clean up our home record and continue our success on the road, we're going to be a heck of a hockey team. Not that we aren't already, but it just makes us that much more dangerous is when our building is a lot harder to come into play. So we're going to try to do that, and we got a couple games here at home before the break, and then we have 2 on the road before we got about a week off. So if we can get a couple good games here at home before going, then we can get our confidence back at home, at our home building.
Have you felt the intensity of the games start to ramp up? Like, I know, some of the teams that you played on the road trip weren't necessarily playoff teams, but are you starting to feel that now come into play?
A little bit, yeah. You can tell with some of the teams, the playoff teams, which our last game was definitely a playoff style game. The LA game was a lot, more excitement, I guess you could say. It's tough for, we've had some of those teams here where we're almost 50 games in and we're pretty much out of the playoff race, and teams are, calling us for some of our players. So it's nice to be kind of on the other side of things where we're in the hunt now, and we've put ourselves in a really good position right from the start of the year where we've been successful. So some of those games when you're playing against those teams that are really trying to claw for points, then they're big games, and the Carolina game was a huge one as well. So we got some good teams coming in here this week, and try to do the same thing, and we got to be ready for some big time games.
I wasn't originally going to go there, but now that you mention it, just as someone who's been here for a while, there have been these situations where at this time of the year it looks bleak, right? Like, going forward, it looks bleak. What is that like for you personally, to be in this position with this particular team?
Yeah, it's definitely just a long time coming. We had the 1 year. I don't want to say it was a fluke, but Halsey had a great year, and we had some key goaltending, and we just kind of things fell into place at the right time, and Tampa really just dominated us in that series. So we actually have a real strong team this year, and we've earned it, and we feel that we're actually, not that we didn't back that in that year, but it was a little bit of a different vibe. It was almost kind of like you could see Tampa was a real good team, and not that we weren't. We had a good year, but it's just a different vibe, and it's hard to describe. I mean, I've been here, like you said, for a long time, and I've seen that, and now seeing this, so we're still a long way off. We got to just keep winning hockey games to make it to the playoffs, but it's just a good vibe around the group, and you can tell we got some real good players and some talent, and if we continue to do the right thing as players on the ice, we're just going to try to win our hockey games every one that goes by, and hopefully when it comes time, then we'll deal with the playoffs when we get there.
The last month, you've really been playing some of your best hockey of this season, either when it comes to points, number of minutes, and just contributing in that way. Do you see a difference between maybe your start of the year and the last month or so?
I'm playing a lot better for sure, but a lot of it has to do with opportunity. I wasn't really getting the opportunity at the start of the year, and I wasn't really playing as much. And I had game 1 where I played a ton, and kind of my normal, and then it just kind of fell off from there. But not to get into too many specifics, but yeah, no, I've just been playing a lot more solid hockey and taking care of our own end, jumping in the play when I can. And I know some of our high-end skill guys got a lot of confidence in me to jump up there and help them out with getting the puck to them and making plays to them. And I had a lot of fun, especially in that San Jose game when we were in overtime. I was out there, I think it was with Jack and Bratter, and Nico kind of jumped out there, and it seemed like we dominated for the majority of that overtime. And just I gave those guys a hard time after the game because I said, you guys are just sticking out in front of the net, messing around, like put it in the net, one of you two. So, but it's a lot of fun to play with those guys, and like I said, they have confidence in me to get the puck to them and make plays with them. So just trying to take care of business when I get out there. And the thing is, the name of the game is winning, and anything I can do to help the team win right now, it's kind of like everybody in the room, just pull your weight and do your job and do the best of your ability. And we got some good players in here. We'll take care of it.
You've had a few games now, or more than a few games since you've been back. You've had some road games. You've had some at home. I'm wondering, from your perspective as someone who's recently come back into the lineup, what's the biggest difference you've seen maybe from how things go on the road versus at home?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's always tough on the road, especially on a long road trip like that. That's why we're happy with 9 points out of 10, and it's a grind, and it's been a great road trip for us. Even we didn't play our best. We all know that, but every time you come back home with the 9 out of 10 points, it's great.
But in terms of the way maybe you guys have been playing in away versus at home, and just the results, right? The discrepancy is huge in terms of results. So, is there something you can pinpoint there?
Not really. Yeah, we are wondering the same thing. We all know we need to be better. We need to have a better home record, and we need to take a pride that we play in front of our fans, and they want to see us to win, and make sure we're going to be ready and win tomorrow.
What becomes the most encouraging thing, aside from 9 out of 10 points for you, when you look to what you guys accomplished on the road trip and what's coming ahead?
Sometimes even when you're not playing your best, we're finding ways to get the points out of the game. So that's, I think, pretty positive. But like I said, we are not happy, or we're not very much happy with our game. We know we got way better.
And just, this final stretch here where you're heading into a long break or the All-Star break, how important is what is coming up right now and that mentality of those are 9 points, but we don't have to, they're done.
Yeah, for sure. Now we have 3 or 4 games now before a break, and we need to dig deep and get the most points we could. And then we have a little break to relax a little bit and get ready for the final, 2 months. Which would be, pretty tough. I saw our schedule. We play now again most of the games against playoff teams, so it's going to be hard.
And just for you, now that you've got a lot of rhythm under your belt, how are you feeling about maybe? I remember when you were coming back into the lineup talking about needing to get back up to that game pace. How are you feeling and just that part of your game?
Pretty good. I got more comfortable. I got a little bit my confidence back, but I still there's the room for improvement a little bit, so I can be better.
Just when you talk about getting your confidence back, is that a matter of goals, is that a matter of assists, or is that just a matter of a feel for the game?
It's more for feel for the game. When you first couple of games, everything seems fast, everybody's everywhere, so you're trying to just slow down a little bit, take a breath, and relax with the puck on your stick a little bit. So, like I said, it's all right, but I know I can be better a little bit.
Thanks, Ondrej.
Thank you.
When you play the type of role that you play, is sometimes that first game back extra tough, just knowing that it's that grinded out kind of style?
Maybe. I guess I wouldn't really know the other way, right? I think the amount of time I took off makes it hard. 8 weeks is a lot of time to jump back in. I think there's some guys who might make it look a little bit easier than maybe me. Like to your question, I think I struggled a bit and I found it hard to come back for sure.
And then so for you, I know you're generally a positive guy, so when you look at what's coming up tomorrow, do you have any reservation in yourself at all?
No, I feel better every day. Every day that goes by, my situation feels better for sure. I think even after last game, and when games don't go too well, I think you're even a little more excited for the next one. So I was looking forward to the one tomorrow since the night in Seattle.
And just so what does a team like Pittsburgh bring to the table that you guys have to be wary of, especially knowing how at home it hasn't necessarily gone the way you'd want it to?
Lots of reasons to be ready for tomorrow. I think as a group, our last game, as a group, it being a divisional game, I think they've got some star power that the whole league knows about. It's a laundry list of reasons really why all of us should be ready for tomorrow.
But is there something in their play that you guys have to be really cognizant of in order to get that win at home?
I think the amount of chances we gave up, I think if we did that to these guys, we'd be in for one. We'd be in for a tough night. I think their guys are pretty opportunistic and they find ways to score, and when they get chances, they end up in the back of the net.
Obviously, you played just that one game on the trip, but when you see the way you guys have been able to sort of keep with it, scoring a goal with 11 seconds left, 9 or 8 seconds left, what is that telling you about the group that is here right now?
I think you can tell that it's a young group with no quit, and those games, the team's been fun to watch when we were on the road and I wasn't playing. It's a resilient group, and these guys just keep kicking. Whether game starts good, bad, we tend to finish, and we find a way to make every game exciting.